Oh, I guess that was the no intro this week.
When we say you lead, you lead.
That's what happens when you've been
I
out
know
a
you've
whole
been
week, right?
I know you've been gone for a week, Bobby, but we start on time.
Well, I understand.
This ain't local wrestling shows. We start on time.
We don't want to run. Yeah, well, welcome to Busting Out. Let's start all over. Glad that we were
The
able to
episode
get
might
this
be
correct.
2-6, but don't act like you've just had one. All right.
All right. So we are here. It is Busted Out. We are the Brunch Busters. I'm Bobby Munson, and the man beside me, Chris Parrish. How you doing? Other than having a good laugh at my expense.
Outside of that, I'm doing all right.
Well,
I'm
that's
doing all
good too.
right. Yeah, how are you?
You know what? I'm doing not too bad. Finally getting over a cold that I picked up during the week as well too. That kind of kept me down and out. But you know what? I'm feeling good, feeling alive, ready to rock and roll here on this Sunday with everybody. It's good to be back again. Missed doing this. I've been doing this every Sunday now for quite a long time. So, but it was nice to have just a short little break, and it's great to be back here with you guys and back in full swing every Sunday once again.
Yeah, it is, and it's been an interesting few weeks. I know, like when you weren't here last week, we were talking a lot about Elimination Chamber. It almost seemed like I was sick and tired of talking about Elimination Chamber. Probably everybody was sick and listening to me talk Elimination Chamber. But yeah, now we're getting a little bit more direction from Elimination Chamber, which is kind of nice. And I know like we have a few topics there, but there's also been a lot of topics outside of WWE that we are going to be talking about as well. So we have a good show, and I think that's the nice thing. But I think we kind of should kick it off with one thing right away, and that is just letting everyone know about Rogue Energy.
That's a good way to kick off.
Let's get our sponsors out, because there's no better way to start your day than getting that little bit of energy kicked into your system. And if no better way than going to rogueenergy.com, using that promo code OLEPOD, save 10% off that order that you have. And you can try out a couple of the new flavors that they have there, which I think they have like a strawberry candy or something.
Yeah, they got a lot of new stuff dropping all the time. Just awesome stuff.
Yeah, pretty wild stuff. They're just absolutely always thinking, how do we bring something new to the table, just like we do. So like go check them out. Go look at them. If you're in the US, make sure to pick up some of their energy drinks in a can. Those are only US shipped only, so go check that out. And if not, like if you just need a new shaker cup for the gym, they sell a bunch of those, so go check them out. And if you're not sure what you can get, they have free sample packs as well. Hello, Astrid. How are you doing? How was your Sunday afternoon?
And Astrid just back from those ROH tapings as well too. How were those? How was the night last night? Let us know. As I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess that. yeah, that's right. In the Impact Zone this week as well too. But yeah, lots going on in professional wrestling these days, Parrish. And one of those big things, and I want to talk because this is fresh news from Friday night as well too. And again, this one very personal to you. I just want to say a big, massive congratulations to Son of Irish picking up the LPW Challenge Championship on Friday. I don't want to go into a lot of detail myself because you were there, you experienced it, you were part of the moment. I want you to have the floor and kind of talk about it, but I wanted to get the congratulations out there as well too. And let's talk a little bit about that. So.
Yeah, the one thing we don't do a lot here, surprisingly enough, is we don't talk a lot about our local scenes all that much. Me being in the Alberta scene and Bobby, you being in Saskatchewan scene. The one person that we do come across, both of us, is Son of Irish. And Son of Irish, I've known his entire life. I had his first match when he was only 13 years old. I won his first championship with him just about 12, 13 months ago as we won a tag team championship, which is actually the last championship I ever won. And this Friday, he won his very first singles championship. He's been in the business for about 5 to 6 years now. And one of the craziest athletes that I've ever come across. Just somebody who is so natural at the athletic aspect of pro wrestling. And him to finally achieve something like that is absolutely just heartwarming. It was emotional to watch, but the one thing that I'm super proud of the kid a lot more is that when he won that championship, the first thing he does, and you can see it, is he's waving people in because there's a lot of family there. In fact, there was a table called Fam of Irish there. You'd probably
Nice.
like that.
Nice.
So,
That's a good touch.
yeah. Yeah, so but the first thing he wanted to do was share that moment with the people that were close to him and that he loved, and it shows a lot about his maturity, a lot about the way he was raised. So can't happen to a better person. Very proud of him. Can't wait to see him collect those championships, but also see how he grows into that champion role. And now that he is the challenge champion, I know the one thing he's going to be all about is challenging. He just wants competition. I think he cares more about being a good champion and an actual challenge champion than being like a Roman Reigns 900-day type champion. If that happens, great, but he rather just makes that title amazing. So
Yeah.
can't happen to a better person. I love the kid a lot. He is like a little brother to me, and yeah, couldn't be more proud to see that. Definitely also did not think I was going to be in that ring ever again. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was great to see it all come together. And like Astrid said, love seeing the pictures. Congratulations to Son of Irish. And in the short period of time that I've got to know Son of Irish coming out for PPW, he's really splashed onto the scene here in Saskatchewan as well, too, with very exciting matchups. He's got a lot of great talent and so young. Like, he's got a great future ahead of him, and it's great to see him win this first championship. And yeah, just a massive shout out to Son of Irish, and just for that moment in general, and the fact that you got to be a part of that is just, it was a great thing to be able to see this weekend.
Yeah, and just to be able to, give credit where credit's due, wouldn't be possible if it wasn't allowed and let by Love Wrestling and by Spencer Love, who could have stopped it, chose not to, and very much allowed us to have that moment. So for that, I say thank you. I appreciate it, and much respect.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good to hear. I'm glad that we could come in on such a positive note here on Busting Out this weekend, and it'll be great. We really got to work on getting Irish on the show here with us sometime. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I tried today. The kid is now busy. He's now a champion.
Oh, that's
he
right.
now has responsibilities. He has like media appearances. He has TV. No, I'm just kidding. But he has stuff to do, and he's very close to his family. So I mean, like there's just situations that you can't happen. But yeah, no, it is definitely something that I'm working on. I'm trying to, as much as humanly possible.
That's awesome. And yeah, and I just got done with getting prepared one of Irish's matchups that's going to be taking place on PPW's YouTube channel probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks. That one's going to be released, so his matches are going to start appearing there as well too. So anybody that's a fan, be ready. You're going to get to see what he's been doing since making his mark here in Saskatchewan. It's an exciting time. And speaking of exciting times here, Parrish, there's so much going on outside of professional wrestling all over the place. Every company seems to be busy in 2023. Tons of things going on. And one of the things going on right now is contracts all over the place. There's news of WWE going after people in AEW and vice versa. It's all over the place. Everybody seems to be going to some sort of war or something of the sorts anyway. And one thing that's up for question here is the contracts of FTR, which are set to be expire come April of 2023. This has been noted, and it seems like FTR might be ready to finally take that little bit of a hiatus, a year off from televised wrestling, or conveniently being right around April. Could there be plans in place for anything else? What do you feel about FTR and their contracts? Looking into this and the things that Morning, Melball joining us in the chat. But yes, FTR, it seems like maybe they've had their time there in AEW and it's time to move on. I don't know if, from my perspective, I feel like signing with the WWE right now should be their immediate effect. I think maybe they should take that time to just take some time apart from it, maybe do some independent dates, some touring to places they want to do, everything like that, and then make a decision on where their careers should go from there. But again, that's opinion only. Again, I can't speculate for the group themselves. But how about your thoughts on this situation?
Well, anybody that knows me knows that I love myself a good revival match or FTR. So I would definitely love them to come back to WWE if that was the case. If not, I mean, they're at a point now where, I mean, they've earned the right to do whatever they want, right? Whether or not it stay there, it's go to WWE, go to NWA, which I always thought would have been a great fit for them. But now I don't know if I perceive NWA to be what I used to perceive NWA, just given their direction now. I know a big proponent of MLW. I'm sure you would love to see them and
of course
in MLW once or twice. But I mean, yeah, no, it was very weird because we all know that the Wrestling Observer had those awards that were very, they brought a lot of opinions on the Twitter. It's like Twitter is very stable with opinions. It's hard to gauge, what upsets people on there. So the fact that the Wrestling Observer, did something, I mean, wow. Pure sarcasm, by the way. But yeah, no, one of their things was the best feuds and or the top feud of the year, and it was the Briscoes and FTR, and even Tony Khan didn't recognize the FTR aspect of that, which could it be telling? Could it be there for a reason? Maybe. Is that reason that they're on their way out? It's very heavily speculated. I do think that they're gonna go. That's just me asking a few people that I know, and they share that. I'm not gonna throw anything out there because until there's strong facts, it's just hearsay. So, not gonna reveal that. But at the same time, who wouldn't want to see them go up against the Usos or go up against the Street Profits if DIY is going to be a thing again, clash with those guys. If AOP comes back, they could also help those guys out. Otis and Gable would be amazing. WWE seems to be putting some effort into their tag division again. So maybe this is something that, shatters their machine, as we have seen a rated R couple use at Elimination Couple.
Yeah, I like your pun work, by the way, too. But yes, it's I think that's pun work anyway. But yeah, no, it's good to see that the idea is there to really beef up the division and everything like that, and more teams. Obviously,
I put the PU in pun, by the way.
Nicely put. But yeah, it's good to see them going for beefing up the division and everything like that. But again, I don't know. Like maybe it's an opportunity now for Dax and Cash to take that time off to maybe tour the world, to go places they want to go, work with some teams they want to work with, where they're not confined to working TV dates and all that kind of stuff, at least for a little while. Rediscover themselves before getting back in that picture. We, as it seems like, and we could talk about this later, it seems like there's going to be an obvious plan for where the tag title division is going right now, and maybe FTR doesn't fit in it just yet, and it would be too soon to jump the gun on that. Maybe they do need to take that little bit of a break before making that jump back to the big company. I believe oh, there we go.
No. I have an extra button on my mic and I like to hit it. But no, and I think that's the thing though. In wrestling, we tend to always want things right away, right? Like, okay, if they're free agents, they got to show up that day. They got to sign pen to paper and they show up. Kind of like when Hardys came back to WrestleMania, I think it was 33, right? Yeah. They were in that ladder match with the Bucks. Just the night before, or 2 nights before, and then boom, they're at WrestleMania. But that's the thing when you're a little bit aging, when you have put some miles on that body of yours, you definitely need to make sure that when you come back, you're coming back full steam ahead, or else, you're gonna get hurt again, or you're gonna you get run down. So I hope that they do what's good for them, because I still want to see them perform. I want to see some good old tag team wrestling, and they do it pretty well. And yeah, I mean, if they're a post WrestleMania thing, cool. But if they're a little bit longer and maybe towards that, like autumn time, fall time, then it's okay. But
Yeah.
if not, I'm not gonna cry over it because I care more about them being in a good spot.
Well, and you can always go.
Spot that
You
they
can
care
always
about.
still watch them. Yeah, they'll be somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and that's just it. Like if they go somewhere else, they can help beef up that tag division. And the one thing that I do love is tag team wrestling. And if either way, their decision is just to go somewhere and help elevate that division, I'm all for it.
Yeah, fantastic. Have you checked out Dex Harwood's FTR podcast yet?
Clips, shorts, but nothing in full.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of time to watch things in full. I don't even watch a lot of TV in full. So no, I mean I'll pick it on. I got to do a road trip. If I do a road trip, maybe I'll bang out a few episodes.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good. Definitely something that he does really well on.
I do like the fact that his first one he just like pisses people off. So there's something I can respect about that. And all he does is just say the truth, and more people like are happy, and it's the people that are about it. Those are the ones that like to chatter. So
yeah,
and always. This is coming from me.
You're not a chatterbox, are you? No way.
I mean if my lips had a passport, there'd be a lot of stamps on it, and I don't know how that's going to be perceived, and if that's going to be clipped, then so be it. But I mean, they like to be moving, is all I know.
Moving. Well, how about moving on
to a new topic, shall we?
Let's do that. All right. So here's one, because you mentioned them before, and MLW is something that I follow quite well. I thought they're in the news again. They've been doing a lot of great things. I mean, first and foremost, MLW actually picked up their most solid rating for their new TV show on Reels, MLW Underground. The third episode actually picking up 97,000 viewers, which topped it just slightly ahead of Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling this week in terms of the ratings. So a big congratulations to MLW for, the big pickup. It's a 33% increase in viewership for them over last week's episode. In saying this, the other big news coming from them is that now, because Reels happens to be something that is available, I believe, within the US on Amazon Prime, and the deal hasn't been quite fully inked, they are trying to work out the relationship with Reels and Amazon Prime to offer MLW Underground through Amazon Prime, which would be a very, very big step in getting more eyes on the MLW product. So this is big news for them. And I just wanted to touch on this, and also to say congratulations to MLW for, this is a big shift. I know it kind of changed a little bit of the plans of what Papa Smokes and I were doing with our Thursday night shows and stuff like that. But again, we pivot, we adjust, and we're still big supporters of the company and want to see them be successful because of how great it is for every single one of the wrestlers on that roster.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that you're hoping for, right? When there's change, you're hoping that it's positive change or that it's hopeful change. You're hoping it's not a WCW, we're closing its doors type change. So the fact that there's positive news that we're hearing that they're working on a deal with Amazon Prime, which we all know Amazon Prime is a powerhouse. Yeah. So this would be a home run for MLW, and it's something that a lot of people would have the availability to check out. So not only is it not restrictive, but it's also pretty game changing, not only for their company, but now where you can watch professional wrestling, because it's a platform now that is very, very viewable. And because of that, more people are going to get their eyes on it, like you said, and that's just good for them. You're going to get introduced to a lot of these guys, like the Alex Caves and the Hammerstones of the world, which, I don't have to beat the horse. You know all too well. These guys are great professional wrestlers and need their names out there more, and more people need to talk about them. The Boom Baya Club. Yeah.
Yeah, Club. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I listen to your show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's the names like that. Of course, Jacob Fatu and the Swollen SWAT team, and then of course you got the names that are helping to bring in some viewership. Of course, like you got Real One, or formerly known as Enzo Amore, who is really helped to put a lot of eyes on MLW, especially with this transition over to Reels, of course, because he does bring name status to the group.
Is
but
he the Reels one?
He's the Reels one, eh? That's a nice touch. I wonder if he's thought of using that one yet. Better reach out to him. But yeah, maybe we can get him on Busted Out. That'd be funny.
Oh, God.
You want to go off the rails? Let's get Real One on the show.
I mean, can't teach that, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I mean, if he's open for it, I mean, let's do it.
We should try. That would be fun. But yeah, like, I mean, this is it's huge all around. And again, they've also just started bringing in, and I believe had the debut of John Hennigan, or AKI, I guess he could be going by Johnny Reels now. I'm not sure. But John Hennigan now in the mix, and he's they're working within a group with his wife, Taya Valkyrie, who's been the long-running MLW featherweight champion, the inaugural champion. So a lot of big stuff going on for MLW, and it's huge news. And again, just gives more opportunity to professional wrestlers, and hopefully we'll start to see names that maybe even we know from out this way eventually make their way to an MLW and start working there as well too.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm excited for, because I know there's a lot of excitement when AEW is starting off, right? Okay, this is going to be something new. What is it going to be? We want to see kind of more. And I'm not saying MLW is new, but it's going to be new for a lot more wrestling fans. They're going to get introduced to this for the first time. And because of that, you got new viewers. And because of that, you're going to have people being introduced now, and it's going to be such a good environment, because it is a good product. It is a positive product to watch. You won't be unhappy watching this. I can say that because I've seen a few episodes and I actually really enjoyed it, and it's a lot of fun, because like you said, there's people that you do know, there's people that you're familiar with, but there's also a lot of new talent. So it doesn't matter your flavor, just understand that, hey, sometimes ice cream's ice cream. Doesn't matter if it's chocolate, vanilla, Rocky Road. Although we do like Rocky Road. That's just a good flavor.
Well, yeah, you can't go wrong with Rocky Road. That's a given, nonetheless.
But we talked about bringing people in and introducing them to something new. I just also want to take this time to let people kind of look at that bottom now, where
I'm not touching.
No, that was me. That was on me. No. Hey, I know when I double click. All right. I'm not gonna throw you under the bus if it's my fault. Come on.
Well, fair.
That'd be sloppy of me. But no, I mean, we'd like to introduce you to our socials. So if you have a chance to check out some of the new product that we have going on, some of the shows that maybe that you don't necessarily always watch, go check it out right now, whether it's through our Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. But even if you have any ideas, concerns, questions, or potentially some offers, whether it's to be a guest, whether it's promotional stuff, or whether it's sponsorship stuff, please email us at olepodcasts@gmail.com.
It's a good way to get a hold of us.
That was so fucking smooth of me too.
Oh yeah, you're on the ball this weekend.
My cat is very annoying right now. It's great.
Yours too.
Oh my god. So like we're watching. We're dog sitting for some family, and that dog does not like our cat or many cats. So because of that, we got to keep the cat downstairs, where I like to keep, my hopefully soon to be man cave that I now have. And it's let's just say it's very meow-ish this morning.
Meowish. I like it.
I swear to God, Groot was inspired by cats, because all cats do is say one word as well. So they're just like meow, and then he's like, I am Groot. So I swear cats and Groot are secretly like best friends, because they probably understand each other better than anybody else.
I can imagine.
That's my theory. Here's sticking with it.
I get a chair near my station here to put these little bastards in. And you think that they would just sit there and be quiet. No, they got to try to get over here and sit on my damn lap still and everything, because, they want to be the stars of the show.
You know that color on the movie Up, where like you just put it on the the dog or the cat, and then it translates what they say, whether it's a bark or a woof or a meow,
Yeah.
and it tells you what they said. Man, where is that technology? Because I would love to know. Because I would love to know when this animal's telling me, "Go F yourself." It would be really funny.
Oh, that would be funny too, especially if it was just in the background saying it while you're on stream live.
Well, it's like that one, like, I don't know, like it's I'm sure it's a TikTok thing, but I don't see it on TikTok. I see it on Instagram, but it's like dog presses the buttons and the parents are like, "What do you think of me?" And then it hits a button and goes, "Bitch." It's just like
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh man.
Oh, it's great. Like, it's just stuff like stupid stuff like that. Like the buttons are set to specific phrases, but "bitch" is always one of them because it's just hilarious.
That's so good. So good.
Yeah.
Oh my.
If our like Chihuahua like somehow just hits a button and says, "With that being said," totally got it in there.
That's even better. Oh man, make that happen.
It'd be great.
We're getting so off track. It almost seems like we need somebody to just be officiating these shows or something like that.
Really, we get off the rails here. Who would have thought?
Who would have? Breaking news.
Yeah, as you've seen a few seconds, we actually have for the first time ever, we have a 2-time guest coming on the show. Not today, but for next week. So we're actually advertising next week's show a week in a prior, which we don't ever do.
We're doing good.
There's the most obvious things that we don't do that we should do. It's probably advertise our next shows a little bit better. But yeah, as you can see, we got NWA official Jared Fritz. He's going to be back on Busting Out.
Yeah.
Next week, March 5th. So make sure you're checking that out. Any questions, comments you have for Jared, let us know, because this isn't going to be a interview type thing. No, he's actually going to shoot the shit with us. He's going to go off the rails. We are taking the stripes away, and we're letting him try to get disqualified this time around. So yeah, no, very happy, very grateful that he is going to spend some more time with us. We thank you, Jared, in advance, and hopefully anybody, if you have any questions for him, you can let us know, because we would love to hear them.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a great time. He was a great guest. It was a great interview that we had with him, and this time just having him here the entire time to join us and just hang out and talk wrestling and whatever else comes up. It's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. I just, I think it'll be great. We've had a great response since having that episode with Jared on it last time. And, it seems like people are very interested in, Jared on our program. So again, that's why we wanted to make him the second, the returning guest anyway, because it's by popular demand of the
first time.
That's right. By popular demand of the BrunchBuster bunch. I don't know. That's something like that.
And it is something we do want to let everyone know. We are reaching out to the people that we've had on before to see if they're available to come back. They've all been very responsive. So it is something we're going to be a little bit more active to do. But we're also going to try to introduce you to a lot of people. But next week, Jared Fritz coming back. Talking about that NWA. Maybe we'll even talk to him about what he thinks about that perception change of NWA with Tyrus now as the world champion opposed to the Nick Aldis's work.
Ooh, you gotta put the guest on the
only one way to know.
Oh,
well, are you kidding me?
Get away with.
If there's one thing I like to do.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. They're gonna make this a blast. But yeah, speaking of blast, I'm talking about blasted straight to the top, or possibly anyway, because just this recent last couple of weeks, Zoe Starks has actually been working main roster house shows. And again, this is usually a telling sign of somebody getting prepared to be called up to the main roster. It might not be an immediate call up. It could be an after WrestleMania one, but we did see her participate in the Royal Rumble this year and a lot of buzz around her. She definitely made an impact anyway. Speaking of making an impact there with Astrid Pizarro on Thursday nights, a little shout out. But yes, she made a huge impact in the Women's Royal Rumble this year. And again, people might be clamoring for having her on the main roster. Question is she ready? I know you probably a little bit more up on your NXT and probably seen a little bit more of her work, Parrish. Is this someone who is fully prepared to really make a big splash when coming to the main roster? And maybe add to that question, where would she fit better in the current landscape, Raw or SmackDown?
She has all the tools. 100% she has all the tools. She's a great worker. There's two things that I'm very curious about is whether or not I think a lot of people, if they watched her develop in NXT, they still want to know more about who this heel persona of her is. And I think that's going to be something that we have an opportunity to kind of try to get again on the main roster. But yeah, no, she was amazing in the Women's Royal Rumble. Like, I definitely a standout. And that's the thing. There's a lot of main main roster women that didn't stand out. In fact, I remember even going back to the was it Money in the Bank? Or was it Money in the Bank? Or was it a limit? No, I'm trying to remember. There's a match where it was War Games. Sorry. My bad. War Games, where we forgot that Alexa Bliss was in the match. Yeah. And like, she's not one to tend to be in that position to where you kind of forget about her. And that was one of the things we craved about the Elimination Chamber, that a lot of people stood to come out of it very well. Zoe Starks had no reason to really come out of that Royal Rumble, somebody that you talked about with a good performance, but that's exactly what she did. Why? Because that was an opportunity for her. So she knows the importance of an opportunity, and she does take it. My thing is, now you got to be able to elevate yourself to that next level. Can she do it? I think she can. Will she do it? That remains to be seen. But how I would like to use her, honestly, I would like to put her with people, because I don't know if she has that ability to stand out on her own. I like her in a group. I like her maybe whether it's in Damage Control. I think Damage Control, make it a 4-person thing, and then you can have your 2 singles with a tag. I think that could be very well. And I think maybe kind of working with somebody seasoned like a Bailey would work. I also would like her maybe to work alongside somebody like Carmella, or somebody who has a little bit more charismatic approach to it, because when it comes to the ring, she can definitely go. I have no questions on that, but I just don't want to see her be stale from the personality aspect, which I'm still waiting to see more from her.
Yeah. And again, that might come with time as well, too, obviously. Again, I'm not really too familiar, but standing out in the Royal Rumble is one thing. I mean, it's a huge thing, don't get me wrong, but being able to go out there and make that name for yourself can come with its complications, and I'm sure that will be a challenge. It could be why this is a trial run for now, testing her out at these house shows, see how fans are reacting to her, see how she reacts to them, getting her in front of a little bit of the different crowds around the world and everything like that, getting her prepared for it. Again, we've talked about it before. There's nothing wrong with a slow burn. And again, it doesn't have to be an immediate call up for her, but it could be one that's coming out very, very soon. So yeah, it's, hopefully going in her way and stuff like that. Again, it never hurts to have more depth within the division, but I think you might be right. It wouldn't hurt her to be part of some sort of group or something like that, at least to help with the personality side of things. And yeah, maybe Damage Control needs that extra set of the extra person, extra bit of muscle in their group and stuff like that to really get themselves over just a little bit more, and make themselves a little bit more, damage like.
Well, I mean, you look at the importance of Solo in the Bloodline, and when he was introduced, he was kind of now the new right-hand man for Roman, right? He was kind of their hired gun, silent assassin type guy, and I think Zoe Stark could very well do that for Damage Control or for somebody. And I think it's a great way for her to start out. Therefore, if she was to branch out later, you're not starting off here and then necessarily come down here just to go back up there. You can have that gradual progression. And because of that, you become a little bit more organic and natural to watch. And when that opportunity comes for the fans to get behind you, they have a better shot of doing that because they have seen and the story. Bobby, I think, is just taking some time away or whatever you he'll be right back. But yeah, no, let us know in the chat. Like if you have opinions about Zoe Stark, if not, there's questions. If you don't even know much about her, ask away. Let us know. I know Astrid, who covers Taking Over with Ed every Tuesday, talking NXT, knows a lot about Zoe Stark. So yeah, also not a bad person to talk to about her. But yeah, no, it's interesting because I do think the women's division is a little bit stale in the sense of familiar faces always running it. I mean, now we're seeing Bianca and we're seeing Rhea kind of being introduced as mainstay players in that women's division, but you still have your Charlottes, your Beckys, your Baileys, your Asukas, your Alexas. So there's still a lot of familiar faces, but it'd be nice to have some new blood in there as well. So Zoe Stark is going to add a different punch, so to speak, for that division. And I think because of that, it's going to be able to open up that division a little bit as well, especially when you think about whether it's elimination chamber matches, Money in the Bank matches, multi-person matches, and you see her name now being added in that mix. It could be very, very interesting. Another person I think she would do a lot of great work with, and that's just because she's had some chemistry with Nikita Lyons down in NXT, is what maybe an idea of pairing her up with Piper Niven and making a 2-woman power couple, or like power trip, kind of like what Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin did back in the time. Maybe a Zoe Stark Piper Niven pairing could be a little bit interesting.
All right, I'm back.
All right. Yeah, no, I was just saying maybe the 2-woman power trip between Piper Niven and Zoe Stark, maybe that could be something.
Yeah, definitely.
As she does have chemistry with Nikita Lyons down in NXT, who I think is going to be out for a year now, which is very unfortunate. Ooh. But yeah, I mean, like, imagine if she had that someone like big that she could play off with too, because she's not a gigantic person, but she definitely doesn't act like a small person. So
yeah. Seems like, yeah, again, don't always have to be the biggest dog in the fight, as they say, but
no,
you could always be the meanest dog in that fight.
Well, I mean, when you look at somebody like Shawn Michaels, like, he was never always the biggest man in the ring, but like but he always, like, whether it was Mankind or Vader or Diesel or Psycho Sid or some of those bigger guys, he was able to bring that fight and make it believable despite who he was in the ring with. And I thought that was one of his best attributes. And you see that with certain people down the road. It's like AJ Styles does that very well as well. Becky is phenomenal at it. No matter who she's in the ring with, bigger, smaller, same size, it's a fight. And I think there's a lot of things about that quality that just makes you a step ahead. And I think Zoe Stark has that ability, but I don't think she knows how to channel that.
Yeah, I think your cat's telling you to F off right now.
Oh, yeah, she's saying she's a fan. Definitely.
Just agreeing. Yeah.
Real recognizes real, all right? My cat recognizes Zoe Stark on the main roster as a call-up.
There we go. That's right. And yeah, by all means, if that's the direction, then good. Add more depth to that roster.
She says, do it right meow, motherfuckers. All right? She says right meow. All right?
Right meow.
Right meow.
Oh, shit. Okay. So where do we go from there? Right now.
I don't know. You made the topics today.
I did. Well, there's only one more topic that I made.
I'm letting you do all the
after
this very risky.
After this topic, we're just going to talk nonsense and bullshit for the rest of the show. Yeah.
It's an open forum of this is your time to F off. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, Dominic Mysterio was used about 1,001 times on Friday night here for WWE on SmackDown. And the question of the hour is, was Dominic Mysterio overused Friday on SmackDown, or because of the segments that he was in and the way he conducted himself? Isn't that going to be a good thing for a Broman? Because it's Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, how you doing this morning, sir? How's work going today? Okay. Anyway, but we're talking about Dominic Mysterio there, and again, his usage. I'd say it borderline maybe being too much for a 2-hour program. The amount of times that he was on screen, it was quite quite a bit. Must be a quiet morning, I'm guessing there, Papa Smoke, especially you got time to hang out with us at the moment there, but glad you're able to drop on in. It's been a fun show so far. And again, next week, Pop Smokes, we got Jared Fritz coming back, NWA referee. It's going to be a good time. Everybody should tune into that episode. But yeah, I thought Dominic, it was borderline a bit much for a 2-hour program. He conducted himself well. People were into it and everything. I didn't see anybody really claiming a whole lot of saying it was overused, because they seem to be into his gimmick right now and the way it's going. But I think it did teeter on it, at least anyway, in my opinion. It was getting there. For sure.
Yeah, it was a lot. I to this day don't understand why he needed to be involved with Rhea and Charlotte. However, I did like that. Like, I kind of liked the interaction between Charlotte and Dom, to be honest, because it kind of allowed me to look at Charlotte a little differently, which not a lot of people can do if you really think about that. So that was a little bit interesting. It was the one time where I'm like, I wouldn't mind Charlotte just bitch slapping this kid. And it's like, I didn't think I was going to want that, but I kind of did. And just like the whole, I got a real Latino man at home. Like, that was just a great line. Also, I hope that was also just a shout out to Andrade saying, come back.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure a lot of people are wanting that. For sure.
I thought he was actually the one that really made the angle in the moment with him and his father, though. And I kind of was wondering why they didn't have Ray at the very least be a little bit more, like, at least just tighten that thing up. I think that's all I think I'd want, was that to be a little tighter. It just looked like it just delayed a lot. But you can definitely tell Dominic was really like egging him on. But I would also like to see Dominic slap him the entire time. I was like, Dom, slap this guy. Please slap him. Give him that. And maybe it's like, maybe that's what we're working towards. Maybe we're going to see that somewhat again. He slaps him, and that's when Ray just absolutely like lets loose, which I know is going to be a pop. Eventually it is. So I like the fact that they at least did something to kind of get that going, because I was very curious with all these segments. Okay, are you guys going to pull the trigger on this match, or aren't you? Because there's a lot of other possibilities that Dom could do. I still thought if he did not have the match with Ray and his father at WrestleMania, I would have just had him win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and then Judgment Day was just there to make sure that he got that dub. But yeah, no, I'm with you a little too much, but I thought it was also a great learning curve for him, because eventually that's going to be him someday in a more serious role. So he needs that comfort level as well. But yeah, no, let me know more about what you thought. Like, what did you like any part of that? Did you hate any part of that, or did you like what was your critiques or opinions?
Surprisingly, my biggest critique will come from the portion with Ray, and not because of Dom so much, but because of Ray. It almost felt like Ray is overdoing the acting on resisting to hit his son, kind of thing. Like, I mean, let's face it, anybody who's had an old man and stuff like that probably knows how to push his buttons enough, like Dom was trying to do, to the point that at the least they're gonna at least give you a double-handed shove back or something like that, or a tap upside the head or something like that to smarten you up, kind of thing. Like, I just think that Ray, with that resistance, like, I'm gonna do it, no, I'm not gonna do it, no, I'm gonna do it, like, and they do it like 3 times in a row, and I'm thought, okay, like, just pull back, boys, like, this is a little bit much here now. So yeah, I thought that was a little bit silly, but other than that, like, I don't think Dom's use, like, when he was on there, I don't think he did anything necessarily wrong. I think maybe they could have held back a segment or so, but not to his discredit. The way he conducted himself, he got himself out there. And again, the fact that people aren't sitting out here going, oh my God, he was overused, I'm tired of seeing this kid on screen, is a testament to the fact that they're invested in what he's currently doing for the company.
Yeah, and the one thing I do want to point out, WWE is doing a great job of putting those pieces in place to build up to WrestleMania. Now we're starting to want the matches, right? They're starting to really kind of get the gears rolling with the builds. And I can at least appreciate that. Like now you're starting to see WrestleMania takes shape a little bit more, whether it's Ray and Dom at WrestleMania, whether it's Rhea and Charlotte. We finally got a conclusion to Karrion Kross and Ray, in my opinion, and I'm very happy about that because I was kind of confused on what the direction of Ray was for WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So I can't say it was all bad because that segment at least did a few things. Plus, it got Karrion Kross a much needed win as well, and which, by the way, probably one of the most like. I don't know how I missed this spot, but just Ray bouncing off the ropes and Scarlett's doing the like little flip over. So like unnoticed almost because I don't know if that was planned or not because Ray's reaction to that was very okay. And then like just kept going. So it was actually very comical in a way, but like very vaudevillain type.
Yeah, she took that bump beautifully in that process too. Like it was so well done.
But one thing I wanted to say, I really hope this happens because I know anybody that's followed WWE, Rey Mysterio, knows that when he first debuted, he not only had kind of a different look in terms of his gear, he had a different theme song, he had a different entrance. He was popping out the sky. And I kind of want to see Dominic Mysterio mimic and mock this entrance. And then cut a Rey Mysterio type promo while just belittling him. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to say, but yeah, no, like I think it'd be great. And I wouldn't be upset if this was more SmackDown primed, because right now I do think SmackDown needs that. I don't know. Like, what do you think? Watching Raw and SmackDown, to me, it finds that Raw is very filled in terms of content, but SmackDown still needs that, like a couple other stuff in there, or else you're going to be using whether it's Bloodline for like a multiple segments, Dom for multiple segments.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be straight up. I can't sit through Raw. I can't. It's painful.
I can because I'm hanging out with Carafel.
Well, see, okay,
and others, and we're having just a great time with our watch-alongs every Monday.
Yeah, but that's a whole different story right there when you hang out with friends, of course. But like, I mean, sitting down and honestly just trying to watch Raw, it's like there is so many opportunities for pee breaks and smoke breaks and anything you want because like the entrances are so incredibly long and everybody gets a 20-minute entrance and then it's promo, 3-minute match, promo. It just drags for a 3-hour program, which is why I like the tightness of a 2-hour program, which I find SmackDown more intriguing in that sense too. So yeah, I mean, I think SmackDown could be the more exciting show for sure overall. Raw I find a bit tough, but yeah, there's a lot over there already. I mean, they could probably tighten up the show and let some of the people that are sitting in the background not doing anything at least have some matches or something to fill the time would be nice, but it's just personal opinion, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm very intrigued with just kind of what they're choosing to do. Like I'm given the one thing I'm doing is I'm still open-ended to knowing that this is Triple H's first real road to WrestleMania that he gets to do being ahead of creative. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and see what they're doing before. Because, I mean, with Vince, you knew his patterns, you knew his trends, you knew all that stuff. With Triple H, not so much, right? So you kind of want to give that a little bit of a fair taste before criticizing, or I do. And I'm very much still liking what I'm seeing. At the end of the day, like what I'm seeing, like if it, okay, maybe Ray and Dom went a little too far or too long, in my opinion, but it was still good. I still enjoyed it. And I'd rather them do that 9 times out of 10 than give me something that I didn't want or something that just made it really cringeworthy. Like, I'm pretty sure that if Vince was in charge, we're going to be watching like a spanking or something because Dom was a very bad boy or something dumb like that. And it's like, no, this time at least Dom is in a position where he's kind of carrying the storyline a little bit. And he's never really been that guy. Now he's doing that, and he's doing it with his dad. So it's kind of cool in that aspect. So
I mean, presumably, we don't know what goes on between him and Rhea off screen, so he could be getting a spanking for being a bad boy.
It's funny. Did you see the tweet that Buddy Matthews put out? It was kind of funny, and just like what I love is how intertwined this whole thing is, given the fact that Buddy Murphy dated Dom's sister, and then now in real life, Buddy Matthews dates Rhea Ripley. So. Oh man, it's just hilarious how much things are intertwined with each other.
Yep, everybody's in love with somebody else.
No. It's all about the heart emojis.
I was just seeing, apparently there's reacts now on Twitch. I was noticing this, but I don't know how to use them. Speaking of heart emojis, that's one of them.
Either I knew that and I was playing into it, or that's just ironic.
Maybe it's ironic.
But yeah,
don't you think?
I don't know. What I'm curious is I'm very much now curious to see kind of how they bring back the mask and how they make that kind of their main thing. Because as we know from the Rumble, somebody beat down Ray. We don't really know who. We just know that Dominic came the entrant after, and he was carrying a mask of Rey Mysterio. I want to see how that becomes more of a travel piece. We're seeing it with Santos Escobar a little bit more, who I'm very, very curious to seeing, okay, what's the deal with him as well, and the integration with him and that, because we know that there is a video with Ray and Santos, sharing the masks with each other. But he also said he was going to showcase like what that truly meant and what the respect truly means. And then the next thing I remember seeing is Dominic being up in his grill. So very interesting to see kind of the dynamic of Santos Escobar as well. Maybe after this we see Judgment Day versus Legado, because it is being rumored that Judgment Day will be SmackDown bound after WrestleMania with the upcoming draft. So
interesting.
Not upcoming, but the post-Mania draft. So maybe we see that. Maybe we see Zelina Vega go up against Rhea Ripley.
So could that just be a little window into the fact that Rhea Ripley likely to pull the championship at WrestleMania?
I think so. I think that's obvious. To me, I think that's one of my slam dunk predictions if I was gonna do that.
Yeah.
I think almost all the titles are gonna change at WrestleMania.
I do too.
I think the only one that could not change is going to be probably the Intercontinental. That would be the only one, and I won't even say that is a guarantee.
Yeah. And who do you think's going to go up for that Intercontinental title? Like, I mean, who do they have that you think is going to be in that position?
I truly think it's a triple threat. I truly think it's a triple threat with Sheamus and Drew. I'm going to put this one out there. I want to add Bronson Reed and make it a 4-way, and I would have Bronson Reed walk out by pinning Drew McIntyre to become Intercontinental Champion.
Seems like an easy way out for on the title win or kind of thing to get Gunther out of it. It almost feels like
if Gunther's not in your title scene by the end of the year, you're doing something wrong. I truly believe that. I think he has elevated himself now to that conversation.
I almost would like to see him hold the belt until such time, though, too, where he could even, lose it just before getting his championship or something along the lines.
Oh, believe me, I would love to see a streak versus streak, champion versus champion match, Roman Reigns versus Gunther. I do want to see Bloodline versus Imperium. I think that'd be great. Yeah. I just think there's so many stories right now that's in between that I don't think we're going to get that, or unless we get Imperium versus Bloodline after Mania, and there's something else. I don't know, but yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, I don't want to see Gunther lose that championship. I think there's a lot of stake in him being a really long and strong champion. But I do think there is a time when Roman Reigns loses that championship, and I do believe it's at WrestleMania to Cody.
Yeah,
I think you can't overdo title like reigns. No. At some point, you're gonna you just can't have all your title reigns be 300, 400 days. Because even Damage Control said we've been champions for 100 days.
Yeah, but doing what with them?
Yeah, I know. But that's starting to become more of a trend now, and I'm kind of hoping that's not something that's overdone.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, like not every title reign has to last that long either, kind of thing. But I mean, with Gunther, it's hard to fathom the thought kind of thing. Like, who do you have that you want to have that moment of actually beating him clean? And like you said, the easy way out is a 4-way, a triple threat where you don't have to have the champion get beat and keeping him look strong. And that might be the easy booking out of Gunther's Intercontinental title reign.
The most organic one, I still think, is a one with Sheamus. Like, I still think there's that story to be told if you were to have somebody actually beat him clean. But yeah, no, I'm just trying to I'm also trying to find a way like, okay, like who can we insert here where it's not just somebody from, I don't want to say past, because I don't want to say Drew and Sheamus are past, but I would like to try to make someone else relevant in this match as well. And I really like what Bronson Reed is doing. I think the guy has an opportunity, and I would definitely at least put him in that match. Even if he doesn't win, that's fine. But I would like to see him with those guys because, big men slapping meat.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you're right. It would be a great, strong, big guy matchup, and that's exactly what we're gonna need. I mean, speaking of big guys, Jesus, like, does anyone give two shits about Omos being in a match, especially against Brock Lesnar? Like, if this isn't the piss break match of all piss break matchups, like, what the?
I mean,
what the?
I
fuck?
would be curious to see if Brock can throw him around like he does everyone else. That would be interesting. But no, like, I don't think the match quality is something you want, but I also don't know. I truly think Omos is just a stepping stone towards that eventual match with Bobby Lashley. I think there's that Hurt Business MVP thing. I think Omos right now is just a distraction to kind of waver this story out that just ends up coming back to Bobby Lashley.
I hope so. Like, I mean, I really do, because again, it's WrestleMania, and the last thing I want is to have a match where I don't want to say. I mean, it's going to be a long couple of days anyway, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least.
We also have to understand what the Bray Wyatt stuff is coming from, because it seems like that came out of left field, him challenging the winner, and we don't know what that's going to lead to. But we know one thing's for sure with Bray Wyatt is they don't do things for no reason with him. There is something to go with. And it's also being rumored too that Alexa Bliss might be rumored to be joining and being paired up with him sooner rather than later. So
yeah, I don't know how interested I am in it anymore. It's like, even that segment on Friday. What is this anymore? Like, it is so beyond the point of stupid at this point that I just can't take it. Like, it is so frustrating. Like, just learn to wrestle.
Like, well, he knows how to wrestle. You just allow him to do it.
Like, then prove it, because all it is just non-selling BS every single time. And then it's like these stupid, annoying segments. Like, that segment on Friday just takes the cake. Like, it's like, if you thought the Royal Rumble was bad, have you checked out Bray Wyatt's new piece of garbage Friday on SmackDown? Like, I can't anymore.
Well, it's not his fault that he's not wrestling. That's creative, right? Not saying
there's nothing creative about what's going on with him anymore.
It would be nice to see him in the ring more just be more active. Like, that's gonna, I think, help. Mm-hmm. But I do think if you're gonna start someone like this is my honest thing. I think one of the main faults for Bray right now, the fact that he's babyface. I think if he was a heel, I think it'd be a lot more creative of what you can do with some of this darker stuff. I think him being a face is not a smart idea.
It's fair. I just think it's gone to the point where it's like, I think we thought this was going to be different, and it's not. It's gone completely into that whole like Firefly Funhouse matchup that he had with John Cena level, like week after week, that level of like insanity, to the point where I'm like, I've had enough of that in wrestling. I don't want it anymore personally. I know a lot of people still really like it. They still really want to root for the guy. I wanted to see him come back and be a little bit more involved on the wrestling side, and I've seen none of that so far at all. And as a fan of pro wrestling, it's been a troubling time because I know that the guy has talent. I'm not saying that, but if this is what you're going to be doing, then maybe you should have stuck to going and making horror movies.
Yeah, I don't know. It to me, like, I want to know more what the end game is, and I have a feeling that maybe there wasn't anything concrete for him right now, and they're just keeping him afloat. If that's the case, it's and maybe just keep him off until you have something. But I don't know. Like this is the point in time now where I find we get a lot of things for no reason, just for the sake of we need it for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping we don't have that. And I go back to what I said earlier. I'm trying to be an open mind because this is Triple H's first run at that road to WrestleMania. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, there might be things that we criticize him for, and this could be one of them. But
granted, and there's a lot of good things he's got going on, because the stuff he's got going on with Cody and Roman, despite the fact that Roman's involvement hasn't been there and could be very minimal due to the part-time schedule, at least he's got the stuff with Heyman, and it's been fantastic. It is building nicely, and it has put Cody firmly in a position to be cheered by the fans, despite the clear love that they have for Sami Zayn coming out of Elimination Chamber. Still, they have not turned on Cody Rhodes. In fact, they've put Cody in a position to be that guy still, and been able to weather that storm beautifully. And that's where I'll throw my compliments the company's way, because they have handled that beautifully. And that could have been an absolute shit show had it not gone right.
Yeah. And that's something that, I think that's what just exemplifies to why Cody was the right guy, right? Like, despite the fact that, yes, you had this ultra popular, ultra charismatic, ultra natural option in Sami Zayn, and you chose not to go that route and went to the Cody Rhodes route instead, and you're still wanting it, you still find that something worthwhile. I think that just shows you, yes, this guy can weather the storm, and not only that, he can then dictate now that change in weather that you want. I think Cody Rhodes was the right choice from day one, and I do like the fact that we're seeing something here that's very fun to watch. We're seeing two things right now that is very interesting. That first confrontation between Roman and Cody is going to be off the charts.
Oh yeah, huge.
The first time, and then with Sami, that reunion with KO is going to be off the charts. Also, that story with Jay and Sami, when Jay turns on Sami, that's going to be a 100% clear example of where now they're going, and it's going to be something that people care about because that story's been told.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We're getting that, those bricks laid right now, and we're seeing the fruition of that beautiful house that's being created with this Sami Zayn bloodline stuff. We're seeing the progression with Cody into that feud. That's why I say with Bray, I think you just need to find that right guy, and then that'll happen. He is still too good to just whizzle away, but he's still a long ways away from being to where, the Sami Zayns, the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes are right now. Yeah. But I mean,
people keep holding on to hope for him, and I mean, maybe it'll get there. But again, I think the silliness needs to be toned down and maybe get him out there. Like, again, we don't need to have him going out there with guys that are big on the roster. You've got how many people sitting backstage that would go out there and take a beat down from a Bray Wyatt on a Friday night or something like that. Like, a lot of people would go in there and put a guy like that over, and that's what you need, is some sort of credibility building, especially on the match front and everything. You can't feel like the guy is dangerous when all he keeps doing are these goofy, like, promos and stuff like that borderline on little children's nightmares, something out of R.L. Stein's Goosebumps or something like that, more so than anything that really gets you is creeped out or it becomes very dark. I think that having him in matchups, especially if with some enhancement talent or something like that, or some of the recent hires for, like, say, NXT or the developmental portions, could go out there and be putting a Bray Wyatt over on Friday to make him look vicious, make him look dangerous, and then build towards that next opponent so that it has more of an impact.
Yeah. There's definitely room for improvement. I'm not going to disagree with you there, because I do not want to see the same song and dance either. I am right there with you. I would like to know more about the relationship between Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt. I think that's something of newsworthy that, they haven't really done a lot of. I want to know why that's now a partnership, why they're now here, right? Because they weren't always that. I want to know who Uncle Howdy is. Also, if you saw on SmackDown, we saw the black mask back, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't, that's different from the gray Uncle Howdy one. So, was that Bray himself, or was, because he also has his own mask, right? And I'm getting to the point where I don't even remember the difference between the two, because I don't really see the Bray one that often. But I just want to know more about those relationships that he has. Why does he have specific people with him? Maybe go to there, and then if he has those interactions with people, because maybe somebody, kind of like how LA Knight I came across with him, very like random, but all of a sudden that turned into something. You can do the same thing. It's not a broken down record in the sense of how you can introduce Bray Wyatt and those things to people, but it is a broken record of what he's done in the past. And I think this is the time to recreate.
Yeah, for sure it is. And speaking about creations here, we have a lot of great creations happening at our local establishment each and every week from a lot of great content creators. And so we're going to take this time to let you guys see what's up this week from our local establishment podcasts. Yeah, we got a lot of great stuff coming out, including a debut show, brand new show that I'm a part of, along with Astrid, called Killer Cuts, where we're going to talk about different horror movie franchises. This one's going to be focusing in on the Scream franchises. We're leading into the 6th film coming out to theaters March the 10th, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a crazy fun time, and I got a lot of cool stuff planned for that show. It's going to be awesome. So we got a lot of great things happening here at OLE. Again, that watch along that you talked about, that's always a fun time on Mondays. I mean, I don't necessarily sit through a Raw, but I'll sit through a Raw watch along with watching you guys. It's a blast. You guys have fun on that show.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is, really. It's just guys coming together, having fun, watching something that they enjoy. It's really, you're not going to get anything out of that other than maybe some smiles and some entertainment. Like, you're not going to learn anything. If you're coming to a Raw watch along featuring Carl Carafel, Chris Parrish, Chris Best, and others, and you want to learn something, oh, I feel sorry about your life decision at that point. But what you are going to do is you're going to have some smiles, you're going to have some fun, and you're going to laugh at our idiocy, our stupidity, our mental capacity at its finest. But we're just having fun watching some wrestling, and we hope that you're watching Raw and you can just pop in the comments and maybe even email us at olepodcast@gmail.com to one day maybe be a part of said watch along. You just never know. The future is what you choose it can be, and maybe our future is working with you.
It could be, yeah. And we love working with different people. It's always a great time. We like guests. Guests are great.
If we can make like that celebration song, but if we can just change it to collaboration, that would be hilarious.
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 But yeah, it would be a lot of fun actually. So but yeah, we want to collaborate with different people. Again, we just had a guest on Thursday night. The one Sean Moore joined myself and Papa Smokes, and what was a great interview. What a great human being. A lot of great stories that he had to tell, and
maybe
everything.
Sean Moore needs to be at the bus station.
Oh
right?
yeah,
maybe Sean Moore needs to come
let's get him in here. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think we could have some fun hanging out with Sean Moore on a Sunday afternoon.
I think so too.
Yeah, let's make that one happen. I like that idea. Yeah, but any other things we want to talk about before we come to a close here today? As my team, as you see, Manchester United right behind me, they win the Carabao Cup.
At least you have a team that shows up in the AM. Holy crap.
And they just showed up in the W category with a trophy win. First trophy win in 6 years. So it's a celebration.
Big fat dub.
Yeah, that's right. A big fat dub. And we having a big fat dub to celebrate afterwards.
Ew. But yeah, no, I don't have a heck of a whole lot left that I personally have. But yeah, I know Ariel Helwani just dropped another interview with Bailey, so I'm definitely eager to check that out. So I'm liking those interviews that he has. Tony Khan might not, but I do. So
Tony Khan, he's a little soured lately. Eh? He's a little
I do want to let anybody know, if you're watching and you are in that Edmonton, Alberta area, or at least close by, to check out the old Stomping Ground Beer Cave YEG next Sunday, as they are playing the AEW pay-per-view or PLE, whatever you want to call it. It'll be featured there. Our good old friends at Backbreaker Media are there helping out with the whole ordeal. So yeah, come say hi and hang out with some of us, because I know I'll be there watching. After 6 days from the shoot job, I need to let loose doing something.
Gotta have some fun. Sounds like it'd be a good time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you talk about 3 hours of Raw being hard to get through, man. Like a 9-hour AEW pay-per-view. Now that is man, that is what you need your Rogue Energy for.
Yeah, that's right. Rogue Energy fit in perfectly with trying to survive a long night of professional wrestling like that. But yeah, Parrish, I don't know. I think maybe we should start thinking about who to raid. I'm looking at the list here today. And
I got one for you.
Who we raid?
It's my good old friends over at Speed's a Benchmark. He's a great guy. The guy is just fun. Yes, they are sports related, and it's a little different of a category, but at the same time, they're good people who care a lot about what they do, and I for that reason, I like to support those people. So, gonna support.
We're gonna let you take over the raid. Then you'll handle the raid on that one.
Already set up. So yeah, sorry I didn't answer you.
No,
yeah,
it's all good. Just want to make sure there, of course, that we're getting set up for that.
See, this is why I like my new setup. My new guy Giddy up over here.
You're all ready to go.
I got 3 screens going right now. I'm professional now, man. This is scary.
Oh yeah, we're stepping up the game. It's time to get
weird.
Big time era.
I have so many buttons and I don't know what they do, but I'm gonna press them. them.
Well, if you're with us on Twitch, make sure that you give a hello to or an Olay welcome to our raid coming up here momentarily. But if you're with YouTube,
good friend Chris Spizak and Silky Baines, which, come on, that is a name that you want to just like, right?
Yeah, of course.
I think they're chatting a lot of stuff. I mean, they also do something similar that we do with the topics and stuff like that. I see that they're going to be talking some basketball. I see one with Jay White on there, AW Revolution that we just mentioned. So yeah, make sure. I'm going to start the raid pretty quick if that's okay.
Yeah, make sure to get that raid going. And again, in the meantime and in between time, you can check out that ticker down below for where you want to be able to find myself if you want to reach out and talk a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of anything else I got going on here on the channel. I just dropped some more reviews on Friday night of some new music, of course, so that's fantastic. Make sure you're reaching out to me. And Parrish, how about yourself? Where can they find you?
You can find me at home. Kind of getting ready for my long. No, you can find me online at the Twitter, Chris Perish, my Twitch at the Chris Perish, my Instagram at Chris.Perish, my YouTube at Chris Perish. You can email me at chrisperish@hotmail.com for any inquiries, comments, concerns, anything like that. But also make sure you're just checking out everything OLE as well, because that's also a great way to get a hold of us as well, whether it's olepodcast@gmail.com, whether it's the Twitch at our local establishment, or whether or not it's our Instagram, our Twitters at OLE Podcasts. Come check it out. Our YouTube at our local establishment. Check out our YouTube. We're trying really hard to push this YouTube, people. So give our YouTube a nice subscribe, like, follow, all of that good stuff. Hit that notification bell. And let us know what you like, what you don't like, and we appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, we really do. Thank you for joining us on another Busted Out. We will see you next week with our special guest, Jared Fritz. Take care in the meantime, everybody.